Welcome to our final design video project for ECH1 Design of Coffee. Our group name for our competition was Rise and Grind. In this video, we will be discussing the brewing process that we used for our design competition. This is our process flow diagram that we will be using to describe our brewing process step by step, starting from the green coffee beans and ending with our brewed coffee at the end.
Our first step was roasting the green coffee beans. We roasted 125 grams for both our dark and our light roast. The coffee beans we used was Ethiopia Dodora Wanago, and we used the Nesco coffee roaster to roast our beans. For our light roast, we roasted our coffee beans for about 15 minutes, and our dark roasts, we roasted our coffee beans for about 22 minutes. After roasting was done, we weighed our roasted coffee beans, and our light roast weighed about 114.7 grams, and our dark roast weighed 104.8 grams. To measure our energy, we used a kilowatt machine. For our light roast, our total energy was 0.13 kilowatts per hour. But since we only used 30 grams of it, our energy per gram was 0.033 kilowatts per hour. For our dark roast, the total energy was 0.21 kilowatts per hour, but since we also used 30 grams for this as well, our energy per gram was 0.06 kilowatts per hour. For the total energy of our roasted coffee beans that we used in total for our brew was 0.093 kilowatts per hour.
Our next step was to grind the roasted coffee beans. Here you can see the coffee beans grinding in the grinder. We chose a grind size of 10 since the coffee seemed to be stronger with a smaller grind size. We grinded 30 grams of the light roast and 30 grams of the dark roast. We combined 10 grams of each roast for each individual brew, bringing us to a total of 20 grams for each brew. We made sure to mix the grounds so that both types were evenly dispersed. After mixing, we poured the grounds into the paper filter of each of the 3 Clever coffee drippers. We then set these aside.
Our next step was boiling the water in the kettle. We heated 1,120 grams of water to 94 degrees Celsius. The energy used to heat the water was 0.09 kilowatts per hour. After we were done boiling the water to 94 degrees Celsius, we combined 20 grams of coffee grounds with 364 grams of hot water. We did this for all 3 Clever coffee drippers. Our brew was 18.2, and we got this by dividing the total mass of water by the total grams of coffee grounds. The extraction time was 4 minutes for each Clever coffee dripper. After the 4 minutes were done, we let the coffee drip into our mugs, which then was transferred into our thermally insulated carafe. Our total mass of the brew was 946.5 grams, and our total energy usage to produce our coffee was 0.183 kilowatts per hour.
The TDS of our brew was 1.2% and our PE was 18.93%. According to the coffee brewing control chart, our brew should have been on the edge between ideal sweet and weak. However, our coffee did not taste as good as we had hoped. Our blind taste score was 25.2. After receiving our blind tasting score sheet back, we found out that we were Group J. We remembered that the coffee we tasted for Group J had a slightly bitter taste, but was not terrible. The body was very smooth and the fragrance was pleasant. We gave ourselves a balanced score of 6 and a total score of 35.
Things to improve on in the future is that we would start earlier, because at the end we felt really rushed while brewing our coffees, so we would do better time management. And another thing we could have done different also is test different extraction times to see if a shorter or a longer extraction time made the coffee taste better. And throughout our design trials, we stuck with only 4 minutes extraction time, which we could have changed and tested out different times. But even though we didn't get our coffee to taste as good as we wanted it to, we were really happy with our overall final score and ending with second place, which was really unexpected. Thank you very much for watching our video.